Where am I? Oh my goodness. You know, in some parts of the world, including this one, it's Tuesday, 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 the day the time forgot. I like that still picture of me a lot better. The hair, the bandanas. I don't know, people. I don't know. Things are getting out of hand. You know, a lot of times around the house now, I'm rocking the ponytail. Yeah. I just haven't gotten the courage to do the ponytail here in the treehouse yet. But, you know, if things keep going the way they're going, well, it may happen. If it starts to warm up outside, yeah, that's when things on the hair on the neck, it's just, So how's everybody doing? We are back here again. I'm extra casual tonight. I just got to tell you, I'm extra casual. I've got a set list here. Can I play these songs well? We're going to find out together. That's kind of how it works. These days, with the things being as they are, I've been kind of having a couple of bad days in terms of general body stiffness and... do you really want to hear about this? Yeah. Let me. I should just print out. I could send you a medical report in advance. Cam and Pete. Oh, but that is good, Joe. No. Yes. Thanks, Ma. Yes. Timmy Tra. I'm glad you guys got back safely. I expect a full report on the drive home tomorrow, Mr. Schwanler. Everybody up in the Met Hal? Anybody from the Met? There's Rick Lewis. You know, I say the Met Hal, I look down, there's Rick. Thank you, sir, for being reliable like that. The mighty Met Hal Valley. That's a Met Hal Valley sized cup. Yeah. Makes Texas kind of look a little wimpy, doesn't it? Don't tell him I said that. And Gary Schulstad down in Portland, Oregon. Welcome, brother. Thank you for that note. It was a nice note. Joseph Webb, I wanted to tell you. Heads up, Joe. Heads up. I wanted to let you know. You wanted the complete discography. Well, I don't have Right at the Light. I don't have Gravity on CD anymore. I can send you the rest of them. But I can't send you those two. So the Bandcamp site might have to be your recourse. But you can go to Bandcamp and you can listen to them and you can decide if you even want to bother with them. There's some good stuff on there. There's some stuff on Right at the Light that's like rare. You know, there's like bonus tracks on that are very interesting, including a very lousy recording of a Dave Ross Minute with the Arts from Cairo Radio somewhere in 1986 or something like that. Why am I mentioning all this? You know, we've already been going all this time. I haven't even sung a song yet. Well, I did do the early bird special. Yeah, that was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. Breaking silences and raising up the shades. Love's begun to float, but it doesn't drift away. Letting the ego slip and letting the slip show. What magic tears it open, you can never know. But you're grateful for the energy, the constancy, the healing course, to the running three, the trinity, or just nature's sudden force. You're grateful
Talking to yourself is how it must begin. Until the shell is cracked, there's no light coming in. And when the rooms are lit, there's pictures on the walls. They speak a million tales, but they don't tell it all. So you're grateful for the pen in the hand, the music stand, the swollen page, for the graying strands, the grains of sand, the sight that comes with age. You're grateful. And I know why you come here again and again and again. It's to outrun your one fear, and the voice that's shouting silence in your ear cannot find you here. Breaking silences and raising up the shades. Love's begun to float, but it doesn't drift away.
Whoa. Stefan. Wow. How do you do that? How do you do that? I ain't never seen nothing like it. Must have taken you 25 minutes. Was that Henry? Henry? Was that you? Holly Trout Cooper is here. Holly, I need your mailing address. Don't put it up in the comments. Just give me a little Facebook message or an email or something. My email should be up here somewhere. We're up about there, maybe? About there? I don't know. It's up there somewhere. Okay, well, that was called How It Must Begin. That's from way back. That's from 1983, 84, around in there. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Did somebody hear something? Is there like some kind of weird kind of... Some sort of something in the HVAC system is going... It's the hand! Hoo-hoo! Over here a little, please. Ooh. The hand's got a brand new sleeve on. It's their new sleeve. Thank you. Thank you, Henry. There's something special? Not Stefan. Henry is writing under his name. So that was you, Henry? How'd you do that with all them there little things? Did you just do that through that whole song? Just went back to the little thing? And because on my thing, I can only do one at a time. Janine Boggs, Hayden Reese. Wow. Annie and Robert. Tim and Demetra. Cindy Snyder. Kathy and Laura's. Katrina Knight. Chrissy Chesmore. Lori Trout. Probably on her way to work again. Rick Lewis. Charlotte and Henry and Stefan. Joseph Webb. Holly Trout Cooper. Oh my goodness. Catherine Molesky Steck. Okay, where am I? Because it's... I don't want to be too casual, Deb and Rich from Ballard are in the house also. Cool. Great to see all you guys. Goodness gracious. Gluttons for punishment. Lori Trout is driving she's driving on Highway 167 right now. You be careful out there now. You be careful. Don't get distracted. Don't let this stuff distract you. You're just listening, right? You're not watching. Or maybe she's got one of them driverless cars. Or maybe because, she's become such an executive. She's got her own driver. Probably not. Not if I know the transportation industry. which I might. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Janine Boggs? Wow. Yeah, right. Okay. All right, Bill. Remember, you're supposed to be entertaining people. You're not just supposed to be standing around reading people's messages to you. You got to move back where you can't read them. But you can still see the flying stuff. There's flying stuff going around. Counting up the casualties, the little lost pieces of me, falling through the cracks in the street, a window up at 50 feet, cutting to the front of the pack, tensing up the length of your back, heart attacks and impotence, stacked up next to dollars and cents. Get into management, work on a lunatic crew, money due, and it's simple arithmetic, trimming a lunatic tree, money seed. Meet me on the ledges of life, tapping on the teeth of the knife, holding all the anger in, locked inside a shit-eating grin. Well, maybe there's a kid on the way. You're staring at the stub of your pay. Art's whatever's marketed well. So how much of yourself will you sell? Starting to pressurize. You're so successful, my dear. Money here. And wasn't it you who said dead by the end of the week? Money speak. Look to where the carpeting stops, past the politicians and cops, future-facing shadows and doubt, for what we'll have to do without. Get into management, work on a lunatic crew, money due, and it's simple arithmetic, trimming a lunatic tree, money seed. Counting up the casualties, the little lost pieces of me, falling through the cracks in the street. That's called Moneysense. That was on the Gravity album, the one I was talking to Joseph about. Not available on CD currently. Yeah, I should probably get some more of those printed up, but I ain't done it yet. I've only been talking about doing it for the last, 15, 16, 18, 20 years. Because the album came out in 92. What are you going to do? Don't rush me, okay? Jeez. This is one of those nights where I would just love to just sit and just chat. We're going to do one of those after parties, but I'm trying to figure out how would we do it, if everybody shows up in a Zoom call, we'd need to form a government of some kind. Wouldn't we? Maybe we're not that good at that. I don't know. We could probably figure something out, though, couldn't we? I don't know. How would we modulate? How would we moderate? How would we, I want to be nice. I don't want to be weird and, popular than I am. You probably should just stay right there. Can you hold yourself in that position for the rest of the hour? No problem, I'm sure. Nope. Hand is gone. Tom Ogburn's in the house. Deb and Rich, welcome them. Milt Foreman, wow, Milt Foreman from the old neighborhood. Hey Schwanler, Milton Foreman's in the house. Janine Boggs called your mom, so behave. Uh-oh. Janine called my mom? Uh-oh. That could be bad. No, Mom's been in the treehouse before, right? I don't know. I'm not sure she can do it. I'm not sure that she's got connectivity where she is right now. She's, about halfway between you and me, Janine. She's in Hansville. At least the last I heard she was in Hansville. She was in Hansville yesterday. That's when I talked to her. Mark Kenny. Hey, Mark. There's Milt Foreman. Hey, Milt. Holly Tuttle, Kim Nelson. Playing Cat Ranch. In the house. Vashon Island. Contingent. Excellent. I want to play The Lone Ranger in the Moon. Because I was playing it today. I was like, man, I'm going to play that. I can't remember when the last time I played it was, but it must have been long enough ago because I was really enjoying playing it today. That's one of my real favorite songs. Not famous, but favorite. Written at the Kerrville Folk Festival. One of only a couple of songs I've ever written when I was away from home. 1999. James was 5. Do the math. Oh, man. His birthday's coming right up, too. But he's always 5 in this song. Maybe that's why I like playing it.
Little Mr. Blister with a smile so wide. Little joy eyes, little hazel pockets. Little Mr. just the right size. Little boy love, I see you in the kitchen. You're running round in circles like a lost cartoon. Talking to yourself and talking to your sister about the Lone Ranger in the moon. Can I have a sucker? Can I have a sandwich? Peanut butter mustard is my favorite kind. I can cut the bread and I can put the stuff on it and I can take it all outside. Little boy love, I see you in the front yard running round in circles like a wild baboon. Talking to the trees and talking to the bushes about the Lone Ranger in the moon. Mr. Man, Mr. Personality, little Mr. Underwear outside your pants. When you grow up, you'll be a superhero, 'cause only superheroes get to dance. Little boy love, I see you in your bedroom, loving up a teddy bear until she swoons. Then you lie back and start to tell a story about the Lone Ranger in the moon. Daddy's far away now, but he'll be home soon. Daddy's down in Texas, but he's thinking of you. Little boy love, I see you in the kitchen. You're running round in circles like a lost cartoon. Let me tell you this, when I was down in Texas, I saw the Lone Ranger in the moon. Little boy love, I see you in my good dream, running round the circle like a favorite tune. Maybe next summer we'll both go down to Texas and meet the Lone Ranger in the moon. Maybe next summer we'll both go down to Texas and meet the Lone Ranger in the moon.
There you go. That's for James T. Davie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Came to me in a dream. Not the song, but the idea. While I was sleeping down there in Kerrville in my tent with the scorpions and the chiggers. Ouch. Yes, sir. Only found one scorpion in my tent. I think one's enough, though, at that time. And then they all said, was it a little one? I said, yeah, it was just a little tiny. Oh, the little ones are the most deadly. And I was like, thank you. I needed that information. That little extra, little zing. Don't mess with the little ones. Anyway, where am I? What's my name? What's really going on, Bill? Well, let me tell you. My legs. You don't know that I'm not wearing any pants, do you? It's okay. It's all right. Kids are safe. You'll notice that this view up here doesn't change much week to week. I'm wearing pants. I don't think the hand would let me go on to whatever I'm on here without any pants on. What are you doing, Bill? What are you doing? You gonna play something that's up here on the whatever it is, the 6th fret? It's got something in mind. Something that's a little more recent than those old ones you've been playing. Yeah.
One in a series of self-conscious boys, schooled on the island of misfit toys. You'll find in my pockets the tricks I employ for the only magic I know. My dad had a few moves and taught them to me. He let me sit in and sing harmony. I'd follow his fingers wherever they'd lead, into the only magic I know. None of my teachers were ever aware of amazed concentration and wide open stare. They took me spelunking as if on a dare, to the only magic I know. It can get dark in here on the way to the light, and it's sparse in here when there's nothing to write. And if you park in here, then there's no end in sight. I know. It can get dark in here on the way to the light, and it's sparse in here when there's nothing to write. And if you park in here, then there's no end in sight. I know. So why am I still standing out here on these boards, scratching these vocals and strumming these chords? There's a girl in the front row who never looks bored by the only magic I know, by the only magic I know, by the only magic I know.
That's from the most recent album. That's from Night Sky. I like that one. It's got my dad in it. It's got my dad in it. Of course, he's in all of them, really, if you think about it. He's in all of them. Whew. Let's see. Well, it's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink stains that have dried upon some line. That keeps you on the back roads by the rivers of my memory and keeps you ever gentle on my mind. It's not clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that binds me, or something that somebody said because they thought we'd fit together walking. And it's knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Though the wheat fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us, and some other woman's crying to her mother 'cause she turned and I was gone, well, I still might run in silence, tears of joy might stain my face, and the summer sun might burn me till I'm blind, but not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers flowing gentle on my mind. Well, I dip my cup of soup back from a gurgling, crackling cauldron in some train yard, my beard a roughening coal pile and a dirty hat pulled low across my face. Through cupped hands round the tin can I pretend to hold you to my breast and find that you're waving from the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind. That you're waving from the back roads by the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind. John Hartford wrote that one. I love that tune. Love that tune. It was because of you guys that I relearned it. Yeah. Wanted to put some variety here in the treehouse. You know, you want to put some variety in the treehouse. You know, some variety. I used to sing that. I got a recording of myself as a 10-year-old kid singing that song. Yeah, I knew all about life on the road as a 10-year-old. I did. Yeah, Henry can tell you. He's a road-weary traveler, too. He's been out there, night of the open road. He's ridden the rails. I'm sure he has. Yeah. Hey, Henry, Poetry break! Poetry break! Poetry break! Poetry break! Fire! Fire! Help him! Okay. Oh, sorry. I did that again. Oh, man. Got my alignment all messed up there. I need my stump, sorry. I've decided that it's okay if I go retrieve the stump each week. I know it's killing time and stuff like that, but, you know, with my legs the way they are currently, I think getting a stump is perfectly fine. Okay. This week, ladies and gentlemen, now I've been wanting to kind of push the boundaries. I haven't been wanting to rest on my laurels, like I got laurels to rest on. I don't mean that. I haven't wanted to just stick with the poets that I know are safe, that I know you will like. I want you to like all these poets, all these over here, all these back here. I want you to like them all, or at least have a chance to like them all. All right? So this week we have Hayden Carruth. Hayden Carruth. I have read this book so many times. It's kind of like the Jim Harrison books that I love the most, like the Jim Harrison book, In Search of Small Gods. I probably read that 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Now this one I've had, when did I get this book? Who was I when I got this book? That's the question. May of 2004 I got this in Twisp, when I lived in Twisp, via Powell's. I ordered this from Powell's, City of Books, in Portland. So, Gary Schulstad, yeah. What's happening with Powell's? I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Powell's. But Hayden Carruth. Now, I didn't get into Hayden Carruth until he was an old man. But there was something about his old man poems that spoke to me. So this is old man stuff. But an old man in love. You gotta like that. You gotta like it. If it's gonna be old man, it might as well be an old man in love, right? Exactly. So, what do I know about Hayden Carruth? Not that much. I did some research. Actually, I printed some stuff out, so I wouldn't have to actually know it. I could just read it. I printed out his New York Times obituary. He died in 2008, I guess. Was it 2008? Yes, he did. September 29th, 2008. He was born August 3rd, 1921 in Waterbury, Connecticut. Educated at both the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and the University of Chicago, where he earned a master's degree. Now, he was on the GI Bill after serving, I think, in the Air Force. Wait a minute, let me check here. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Boom, boom, bada bada. Zabazababazamizamazam. He served in Italy for 2 years with the Army Air Force in World War II, enrolled in the University of Chicago under the GI Bill, earning a master's degree in 1948. After graduation, he edited Poetry magazine for a year and worked at the University of Chicago Press. In 1953, after suffering a nervous breakdown and struggling with alcoholism, he underwent electroshock treatment at Bloomingdale, a private psychiatric hospital in White Plains, New York. On his release, tormented by fear of people and open spaces, he spent years on the margins, living in the attic of his parents' house and working out a personal philosophy that dovetailed with European existentialists like Albert Camus, a profound influence in the subject of his book After the Stranger, Imaginary Dialogues with Camus, which came out in 1964. In a tentative step toward the wider world, Mr. Carruth moved into a cottage on the estate in Norfolk, Connecticut, owned by James Laughlin, the founder and director of New Directions Press, where he did filing work. New Directions. Huge publishing house in the world of poetry. Published Ezra Pound and Gary Snyder and William Carlos Williams and all those people. Yeah. Mr. Carruth solidified his reputation with books like Journey to a Known Place, the Norfolk Poems, North Winter, From Snow and Rock, From Chaos, and Brothers, I've Loved You All. Ah, man. Lots and lots of stuff. So, Scrambled Eggs and Whiskey is one of his later books. It's a poems 1991 to 1995. By this point, he was being published by our friends up in Port Townsend, Copper Canyon Press. Yeah. So here we go. The Old Man in Love. I'm going to start with one called Wife Poem. Wife Poem. An And he had kind of a gravelly voice. He was a smoker. So if I start to sound like I'm doing this a little bit, I'm sorry, because I hear his voice when I read it. I don't know why. And it's clear at last. She dropped down from the moon, not like some sylphie Cynthia at Delphi. After all, she's not 17, but with the sexual grace and personal implacability of a goddess of our time. So he says to himself at night, seeing the glow of her sleep, in her half, 2/3 really, of their bed, the clair de lune of her shoulder, and the forehead behind the deep clouds of her hair. He drinks his wine and swallows more pills. The birds make their first obade. Oh, come on. Their first obad, little chirps and chitterings, and outside the first light mists their window. The day will be awful, nervy and dull and sullen. His last cigarette, his final gulp of Chardonnay, and he presses against her warm glow, thinking of how he swam as a boy of 12 in the warm pond beyond the elms and hickories at the meadow's edge. He turned like a sleepy harp among the water lilies, under the dragonflies and hot clouds of the old days of summer. I'll read the next one better than that. Sorry, I stumbled over. Is it Abad? Aubade? Obade, Obade, Obada, life goes on. Cut me some slack, okay? I'm old too. Birthday cake. For breakfast, I have eaten the last of your birthday cake that you left uneaten for 5 days, and would have left 5 more before throwing it away. It is early March now. The winter of illness is ending. Across the valley, patches of remaining snow make patterns among the hill farms, among fields and knolls and woodlots, like forms in a painting, as sure and significant as forms in a painting. The cake was stale, but I like stale cake. I even prefer it, which you don't understand, as I don't understand how you can open a new box of cereal when the old one is still unfinished. So many differences. You a woman, I a man, you still young at 42 and I growing old at 70. Yet how much we love one another. It seems a miracle, not mystical, nothing occult, just the ordinary improbability that occurs over and over, the stupendousness of life. Out on the highway, on the pavement wet with snowmelt, cars go whistling past. And our poetry, yours, short-lined and sounding beautifully vulgar and bluesy in your woman's bitterness, and mine almost anything, unpredictable, though people say, too ready a hearkening back to the useless expressiveness and ardor of another era. But how lovely it was, that time in my restless memory. This is the season of mud and trash, broken limbs and crushed briars from the winter storms, wetness and rust, the season of differences, articulable differences that signify deeper and inarticulable and almost Paleolithic perplexities in our lives. And still we love one another. We love this house and this hillside by the highway in upstate New York. I am too old to write love songs now. I no longer assert that I love you, but that you love me, confident in my amazement. The spring will come soon. We will have more birthdays with cakes and wine. This valley will be full of flowers and birds. See what I mean? Old man in love. Yeah. This one's called Quality of Wine. This wine is really awful. I've been drinking for a year now, my retirement. Rossi Chablis in a jug from Oneida Liquors. Plonk, the best I can afford. Awful. But at least I can afford it. I don't need to go out and beg on the street like the guys on South Warren in Syracuse, eyes burning in their sockets like acid. And my sweetheart rubs my back when I'm knotted in arthritis and swollen muscles. The 5 stages of death are fear, anger, resentment, renunciation, and... Apparently the book doesn't say what the 5th stage is. And neither does the wine. Is it happiness That's what I think anyway. And I know I've been through fear and anger and resentment, and at least part way through renunciation too. Maybe almost all the way. A slow procedure, like calling the Medicare office. On hold for hours, and then recorded voice says, hang up and dial again. Yet the days hasten. They go by fast enough. They fucking fly like the wind. Oh, sweetheart, Mrs. Manitou of the Stockbridge Valley, my redhead, my Absicon Lakshmi of the marsh lights, my beautiful, beautiful baby doll. Let the dying be long. Sorry for the F-bomb there. Sorry, Henry. Sorry, Axel and Levi, if you're in the house. Sorry. It's got to happen. It's poetry. Poetry. It's worth it. Poetry is worth it. This one is a poem he wrote for Adrian Rich. They went way back. It's called California. For Adrian Rich. To come again into the place of revolutionary thought after years in the wilderness of complacency and hard-eyed greed and brutality is extraordinary. A's kitchen in Santa Cruz isn't really different from her kitchen in West Barnett in the old days. Small, interesting ornaments here and there, many good things to eat, and how ideas flew from stove to table, from corner to corner. In Santa Cruz, after 20-odd years, it was the same. Tolstoy said the purpose of poetry is to provoke feeling in the reader, to infect the reader, he said, and so to induce a change of conscience that may lead to a change in the world, that will lead to a change in the world. How can poetry be written by people who want no change? To be reconciled after so long, in sunshine, among Latino voices. A showed me where the earthquake 2 years ago had changed Santa Cruz, and how the people were rebuilding, making it better. Had she been frightened? Of course. Would she move away? Never. Here Earth itself gives us the paradigm, and the great ocean hurling its might always thunderously against the land at Half Moon Bay is our measure of flux and courage and eternity. We drove among hills, redwood and eucalyptus, dense growth, the richness and ramifying intricacy of the world's loveliness, and asked what would be left to our grandchildren, already born, when they are as old as we. No longer do we need an insane president to end us by pushing a button. People need only go on living as they are, without change, the complacent and hard-eyed everywhere. At the airport after dark, among hard lights, with the massive proportions of human energy surrounding them, two old people, embraced in love of the injured and poor, of poetry, of the world and its still remaining remote possibilities, which were themselves. That's a great poem. This is one of those books where, I pick it up and I'm like, okay, I need to pick out some poems, And I just start at the front and it's like every poem I come upon, oh yeah, I can read that one. I should read that one. I should read that one. So I'm skipping over a long poem. It's called A Summer with Tofu, but it's amazing. Written for Sam Hamill, who was one of the originators, I believe, of the Copper Canyon Press up there in Port Townsend. Up there in Fort Worden, part of that complex up there. Oh man, this is so good. Okay, but it's like 10 pages long. And there's a few other ones I want to read, so I'm skipping the Summer with Tofu. This one just gets me. This is called Auburn Poem. A book I was reading this morning by Milan Kundera contains this. In the algebra of love, a child is the symbol of the magical sum of two beings. And now that child is 39 years old. She is suffering from a cancer which we are told is incurable and will become fatal. You have been married for 30 years to another man, and I have been married to 3 other women, and have lived with 6 whom I did not marry. A disgrace, but there it is, done and irrevocable. We are old. You are 69, and I am 70. It would be sentimental folly to say I can see in you, or you in me, the lineaments of our loving youth. Yet it is true. Your voice especially takes me back. We are here because our daughter, whom we conceived one fine April night in Chicago long ago, is crucially vulnerable. We meet in agony, in wordless despair. We meet after years of separation and mildly affectionate unconcern. But it's true, this child, who is a mature, afflicted woman with children of her own, is still a symbol of that magical sum we were. And in this wretchedness, without word or touch or hidden glance, I hold myself out to you. And I know I am accepted without word or touch or hidden glance. This, too late, the crisis of our lives. Sorry, I didn't read that better. That just gets me. Where are we at? One more. This one's powerful too. This is called August 1945. Sweating and greasy in the dovecote where one of them lived, 4 young men drank buzzy from canteen cups, the drink made from warm beer mixed half and half with colorless Italian distilled alcohol. A strange, fierce taste like bees in the mouth. Their faces gleamed in the light of a single candle. They were getting drunk, deliberately, for this was the only answer. They sang songs of joy. They sang Lily Marlene. They were silent. They broke into sobbing. They spoke of home thousands of miles away, of the years of filth and fear and loneliness, of war and war's ending, of the new bomb that had killed hundreds of thousands at one blow in Japan. There, near Manfredonia on the Adriatic coast, across from Ithaca, where Odysseus the wise had once come home from war, in the huge disordered Repple-Depple where throngs of men had waited, milling and shuffling and milling, for shipment to the war in Asia, these 4 were delirious, dumbfounded. Gratefully they slipped away, falling into the discontinuity and incoherence of drunkenness. In a tiny room perched high on a wall over a courtyard, over a dark field where fires burned and cries resounded, the night so hot, the air so evil-smelling, candlelight flickered on the slack faces of 4 young men, ravaged and stuporous, who knew that time had stopped and started again. Hayden Carruth was his name. Scrambled eggs and whiskey. Thank you, Hayden Carruth. Oh, man. Okie dokie. Well, yeah. Kind of heavy. But you know, I want to introduce you to these people. And the only way to do it is to just let fly, you know? Everybody okay? Hey, everybody. Come on, Bill.
Fetch me a bucket of mud, Maggie, fetch me a bucket of mud. We're gonna build a mud house 4 feet tall, so we can walk around without feeling small. It'll have a mud front porch, a mud patio, even mud toilet seats in case you gotta go. It'll also have hot and cold running mud, so fetch me a bucket of mud. Fetch me a bucket of mud, Maggie, fetch me a bucket of mud. We're gonna build a mud variety store with different mud departments on every floor, with mud elevators, mud escalators, a muddy cafeteria with mud-caked waiters, serving muddy coffee from muddy percolators. Fetch me a bucket of mud. Fetch me a bucket of mud, Maggie, fetch me a bucket of mud. We're gonna build a mud-powered automobile with mud-filled crash dummy sitting at the wheel. We'll take it out and test it on muddy mountain roads with mud-covered landmines waiting to explode. With a sexy advertisement, we can turn mud into gold. Fetch me a bucket of mud. Fetch me a bucket of mud, Maggie, fetch me a bucket of mud. We're gonna manufacture a mud politician with mud puppy eyes and a muddy sense of mission. He'll muddy up the House floor, muddy up the Senate, muddy up the meaning of the mud committee minutes. He'll set new foreign imported mud limits. Fetch me a bucket of mud.
The mud song, ladies and gentlemen, yes, the mud song, yes. Hey kids! Step right up. We got us some birthdays this week. Oh my goodness. This is one of them all-star weeks. Yes, sirree, Barbarino, starting right here today. Right here today, ladies and gentlemen. Bridget Lacey is having a birthday right here, right now. She is a member of the, in good standing, of the Westminster Basement Study Group, which may not mean something to, all you people, but some of you people, Today is Bridget's birthday. Happy birthday, Bridget. Hope you're in the house. Emma Vernon, another all-star human being, one of God's greatest hits. Just when you think the human being can't be perfected anymore, tweak it just a little, and you get Emma Vernon, a whole new version of a wonderful human being. Emma, happy birthday to you today. Also today, Alan Kozel, local singer-songwriter, guitar player extraordinaire, been around forever, part of the victory music scene, part of the Grumpy D's cadre. Excellent human being. Alan, happy birthday. And finally, somebody who's probably not watching, but is very popular here in the Treehouse, one Ms. Lucy Kaplansky, an amazing singer-songwriter from New York, who has been around forever, was part of the fast folk scene back in the 80s and everything like that. Lucy Kaplansky celebrating a birthday today. Lucy, if you ever see this, happy birthday. You have been a major big hit in our house for many years. Okay, tomorrow, like that wasn't enough. Tomorrow, one Kat Eggleston is having a birthday. Kat Eggleston, who has actually been here in the Treehouse, and who I have known since since we were at Whitworth College together in the early to mid 80s. Yeah. Has been Diane's best friend, Diane the Hand, best friend since 1984, when they met outside the Antique Sandwich Company in Ruston in Tacoma, and knew as soon as they looked at each other that they were long lost friends, and have been that way ever since, have been besties ever since. Kat Eggleston celebrating a birthday tomorrow, as is Brad Insera, another local luminary, a legend, former owner-operator of the Swingside Cafe down in Fremont. Wonderful place that I got to play music at during my life, and many of my friends did too. Brad, happy birthday to you tomorrow. And Elizabeth Nason, the better half of Jim Nason, the emergency folk singer. Elizabeth having her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. On Thursday, Holly Gwynn Graham from down there Olympia Way is having her birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday, Holly, as is Ginger Reddington, a fabulous visual artist. We have one of her paintings hanging downstairs. The main big artwork in our living room is a Ginger Reddington painting. Happy birthday to Ginger and Holly on Thursday. On Friday, Mr. Kelly Murphy, one of my nearest and dearest friends, been that way since the 80s. He used to come and see me at the Honey Bear Bakery when it was down there by Green Lake. When I used to play there, that's where we got to know each other. And we have been fast friends ever since. Kelly, yeah, he's also married to Mary Lenz, yeah, whose birthday we celebrated a few weeks ago. Kelly, I will see you somehow on Friday. Also, Richard Finn from Thumbnail Theater fame up there in Snohomish. And the Tim Noah Thumbnail Theater, Richard Finn having his birthday on Friday as well. On Saturday, Debbie Crane Nixon, who I have not seen since high school, but I think we are friends on Facebook. Debbie, happy birthday on Saturday. On Sunday, this guy might be nearby. If he's not in the house, he's nearby. Taylor K. Schneider is having a birthday on Sunday. He's family. He's family. Yeah, dolphinately, for sharks. Happy birthday, Taylor, on Sunday. And finally, on Monday, Lou McCarl, guy I used to know who used to come and see me when I played down in Tacoma. I haven't seen Lou for a while, but I'm sure he's out there somewhere. Lou, happy birthday on Monday. See? What a week, huh? What a week. All those famous people having birthdays. Whoa. At least famous in my world, I'll tell you. And oftentimes they've been here in the actual treehouse. I don't know. Maybe they fell down when they were kids and hit their head or something. That's why I don't know why do you people hang out here? I don't know. I fell down a lot when I was a kid. It was kind of fun. I used to do it for fun and to entertain, of course. To entertain. I'm still doing it. I may do it in any minute now. If I feel things slipping, if I feel like the energy of the show is slipping, I'll just drop and give you 20 right here, but you won't be able to see the 20. Actually, I'll just drop and then I'll be pretending to do 20. I'll be down there on the floor going, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, then I'll get up and sing you this song. This is called Hymn to the Muse. I always sing this when I'm hurting. Probably because I was hurting when I wrote it. Okay, I didn't need to explain that, did I? I should tell the story, because I haven't told it in a little while. I was hurting. This was in the summertime, and the warm weather really kind of lights me up, kind of pain and stiffness and, generally. And fatigue is the other thing. But I was hurting, and I sat down right over there, and picked up the pen, and I wrote the line, just a few lines of glory. I wrote that line, and I sat back, and I knew that the next line was going to be about pain, which I'd been writing way too much about. Well, it was all I was writing about at that time. I've written about it a lot since then. Anybody who's received the pandemic suite has gotten a little dose of that. But I wrote just a few lines of glory, and then I put the pen down. I didn't want to write something sad. I wanted to write something about being glad to be alive, I'd been reading a book. This book is the book I was reading. Nobody Home. It's conversations between this South African journalist, Julia Martin, and Gary Snyder. And Gary Snyder's, it spans about 20 years of his life, but in the last ones, he's like 80 years old. And she's asking him for his thoughts on old age, sickness, and death. And he says, old age, sickness, death? Enjoy them while you can. And I thought, yeah, see? That's what I want. I don't know if I got away with it in this song, but that's where that song started. Just a few lines of glory
from a cloth pocket man. He's walking by the lakeside with a smooth rock in his hand. He's fallen far behind the ones who ride the public air to the place where they'll be dining and forget that he is there. Through doorways that are splintered, he rushes with his pen. To the diamond mines of poetry he falls with other men. And his morning's rainy echo strikes a pose for him to see. He drops down into mercy, folds his hands and takes a knee. Just a few lines of glory from a broken little hole. That string of ones and zeros we used to call the soul. He's ready to be called out for the things he couldn't say. There were deadfalls on the switchbacks that he couldn't clear away. Through thickets full of needles he rushes with his pen. Through the clear cuts of poetry he hikes with other men. And as daylight's redemption strikes a pose for him to see, he dips down into thankful, folds his hands, takes a knee. Just a few lines of glory to be read out when he's gone. From the second-hand store table that he built his days upon. From the dome below his desk lamp where he last called out to her. To the trellis of his pages and what he thought they were. To the dark he'll never speak of, he rushes with his pen. Toward the sunrise of poetry he rides with other men. And if no one ever finds him or what he tried to be, may they all stand here and wonder, fold their hands and take a knee.
Hymn to the Muse, that's called. All right. Whew. Wow. Ain't messing around. Serious business. Okay. Let's loosen it up before I send you on your way, okay? Can we loosen it up a little bit before I send you on your way? Everybody okay with that? A little bit. Let's see if I can play this now. You're going to have to help me out on this. The last verse. I'll show you when we get there. We're getting shorter. We're getting wider. No, we're not fatzos. We're only older. We've got no fashions, though we've got rock stars. We aren't dead yet. Where will we go? You can sing earlier if you want to. We're educated with lots of skill sets. We still work real hard without a pension. We don't appear on corporate websites. We aren't dead yet. Where will we go? We built the roads you drove into work on. They're looking crumbly. Maybe we could fix them. Our greener pastures need irrigation. We aren't dead yet. Where will we go?
fathers, we are your mothers, your aunts and uncles, your parents' cousins. We cook the food for Thanksgiving dinner. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? You won't look at us when we wear swimsuits. You'd rather not hear about our sex lives. One day you'll be us, that's some small comfort. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? I'm getting a feel for it. Your verse is coming up here. I'll sing it with you, of course, if I remember it. Oops. Goes like this. These are my people, I walk among them. I share their neck pains, their bladder problems. We could get louder, we've got the numbers. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? Got it? These are my people, I walk among them. I share their neck pains, their bladder problems. We could get louder, we've got the numbers. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? Let's try it one more time. These are my people, I walk among them. I share their neck pains, their bladder problems. We could get louder, we've got the numbers. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? We could get louder, we could get louder. We've got the numbers. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? We could get louder, we could get louder. We've got the numbers. We aren't dead yet, where will we go? We aren't dead yet, we aren't dead yet, where will we go? We aren't dead yet, we aren't dead yet, where will we go?
I think I heard the dulcet tones of the hand joining in on that one. Yes, as well as a bunch of you people out there. Well, thank you very much for joining in. I hope that kind of, brought us a little ways back from some of the places we went tonight. I don't regret the places we went tonight. Just like to keep a blend going, so that the stew has lots of different sorts of spices there within. Right. Okay. You get the feeling what I'm going for there. The spicy situation. Yeah. Thank you for spending another hour here in the treehouse. That seems, for some reason, it seems like every Tuesday it's like I lean more heavily on the casual. And anyway, thank you for putting up with me even when I'm not feeling that peppy, not feeling that good. Yeah. Maybe next week I'll put out an entire report so you get the medical briefing so that I don't have to include it in the actual program. Maybe not. I know I could put you in touch with my doctors and they can just, send you regular reports. That'll be neat and boring. Speaking of which, we're going to be back here about 167 hours from now. Same bat time, same bat channel, doing this again. And I'm working on getting one of those special double header type shows cooking again. So I know I let these things fall by the wayside. I say I'm going to do things, and then do I do them? Do I follow up? I felt guilty all week this week because I kind of let the book just sit, and I wasn't sending out copies of the books to people who want them. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to get back to that. I am. Part of the problem was I couldn't drive to the post office because I couldn't even get out of my driveway. We had the special President's Day weekend snow of 2021, so I used that as an excuse. I probably could have put on my snow boots and hiked up to the post office. I could have gotten there. I just didn't have it in me because I'm a geezer. What are you going to do? I hope part of your plan will be to come back next week. We'll check in again, further updates, as they happen. Okay? Good night. Thank you so much.